While it does not make much sense to me, it appears the New York Jets expect to move on from veteran offensive tackle Morgan Moses. We'll break that down much more all coming up here on a Tuesday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
J-E-T-S, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer, Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer, and Jets legend, Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. A lot to get into today, but before we do so, make sure you smash that like button and you are subscribed to the channel on your way into the building. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here on NY Flight Jets Talk. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL Draft, a little less than 400 away, so guys, please hit subscribe, completely free. Helps us grow a lot, and then hit that like button as well. Also completely free. That's the free way to contribute. The paid way to contribute, well, we'll throw the ticker on down below, is contributing to our membership raffle. Every membership gifted or every $2.99 super chat will get you a ticket into our membership raffle, giving away some exclusive prizes this month, including a Joe Klecko signed jersey, a Mark Gastineau signed jersey, a Bill Parcells signed photo, a free item from our merch store, channel emoji. Get in on that if you haven't already. You're running out of time as we do the raffle on the last day of every month, and then the more tickets you have, the more the merrier, the higher the chance you have to win. But I appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, make sure you smash that like button. You are subscribed to the channel. Any questions surrounding the topic today, Morgan Moses, any questions surrounding all things New York Jets, throw them in the chat. I'll get to those. If you want to call into the show, click the pinned comment at the top of the chat. We'll get to the chat in a little. I'm going to start with the whole Morgan Moses drama that unfolded yesterday with Connor Hughes revealing that Moses is most likely not going to return to the Jets. This is a move. I said it at the open. It really just does not make sense to me at all that Morgan Moses is now expecting to, leave the Jets. It doesn't, because he's a free agent. Yes, he's a free agent, but he's also on the older side of his career. He's 33. He's going to be 34 next month. He's a great locker room guy. He's a great veteran presence. While I wasn't too big on him being the starter next year, he's not going to cost all that much money. PFF has his market value set at $5 million a year. Bring him back 1 year, $5 million, 1 year, $6 million to kind of help train the next young right tackle of this team, whether that's drafting a guy, signing another tackle in free agency. Bring him back, great locker room presence. He's able to battle through injuries. Where else is he going to go? Really, I think I think this might be the end of his career, quite frankly, if he doesn't come to play with the New York Jets, because he's been riddled with injuries. He's still somewhat of a durable starter, but I just can't picture where is he going to go next. Second stint with the Jets, he was traded last offseason to the Jets in exchange for a 6th-round pick from the Ravens. When the Jets dealt him to the Ravens just a few years ago, he was very, very vocal on, I didn't want to be traded. I wanted to be a New York Jet. So he clearly embodies the pillars of being a New York Jet. He's a leader in this locker room. A lot of his teammates love him. He's known I'm sure you guys know, all those crazy injuries he battled through last year. So he's a locker room guy, very great veteran, a great veteran presence overall for this locker room. So it doesn't make sense to me why the Jets would want to, pivot off Morgan Moses and they won't just pay him the $5 million next season. I mean, it led to just 2 sacks and 16 pressures in 14 starts, which is pretty impressive for someone his age. He still remains, I think it's fair to say, remains somewhat of a quality starter on this league who could be an asset on an NFL roster, though mostly just for his leadership skills and his toughness, when I look at Morgan Moses, I look at him as a tough veteran locker room type guy, and I think that's the guy you're paying $5 million for next season. So I just don't think it makes sense. And a team I think that already has a lot of holes, they're making an extra hole right now, which I think is unnecessary by moving on from Morgan Moses. I didn't want him to be the starter next year. I was big on bring him back that 1 year, $5 million, 2 years, $10 million, something like that. Have him work with someone you draft, whether that's, a Donovan Smith from Ohio State, a Gray Zabel from North Dakota State, or it's signing someone in free agency. He provides great overall offensive line depth. He's tough, and he's a leader. So I don't understand why you wouldn't pay that guy $5 million, and now you open up just an extra hole on your roster that you didn't need. it just doesn't make sense to me. So that's where I am on the Morgan Moses news. I appreciate you all tuning in. Any questions you want to get answered here in the chat, throw them in. We'll get to those. If you want to call into the show, use the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Let's see what's up to everyone. Chris J, our moderator channel member in the house. I'm in the office, Connor. We need that album review. Chris, I keep forgetting, but trust me, at the end of the show today, if push comes to shove, you might have to remind me at the end, but I should be good for that at the end of the show, Chris. I appreciate you. As always, our guy Greg Rallo in the building. Greg, good to see you in the house. Appreciate your support as always. 19 NY Jets 69 says AGHC with the channel emoji. Connor, good to see you. Appreciate tuning in. 19 NY Jets 69 says, how do we lose out on Morgan? Jets didn't really lose out on him. He's an unrestricted free agent, and Connor Hughes is reporting that the Jets are going to move off of him this offseason. Didn't provide too much context. It was his weekly news dump in his article for SNY, and he just included the Jets are expected now to move off of Morgan Moses. Not going to resign, or he does not want to resign. I'd assume he'd want to come back and be a New York Jet. Like I said, there were the quotes from him last year saying he's unfinished business with the Jets when he was first acquired. He's a leader. You bring him back for $5 million next season. Come in, kind of help train the next right tackle of the future. He's going to be a tough guy. Seems like everything Aaron Glenn would want in the right tackle. So I don't understand this move at all. I really don't. Chris says he probably wants to play for a contender. Again, I don't know. Is he the one not wanting to resign? We need to find. I'm gonna, we'll report as we find more info here from whoever it is, Connor Hughes or any other reporter. Right now, what it's being reported, Connor Hughes just said Morgan Moses is not expected to return as a New York Jet next season, based on people he's spoken to. He hasn't said whether it's him not wanting to resign with the team, whether the Jets not having interest in him. It's interesting because I don't think it's either way. I feel like Aaron Glenn. This is all Aaron Glenn wants in a right tackle. I could see Aaron Glenn falling in love with Morgan Moses in the sense of he's this leader, he's this veteran guy, he's tough, he's durable. That's everything Aaron Glenn wants in a football player. And also, Morgan Moses has been very vocal on doing whatever it takes to be a New York Jet. So that's why I said I just don't understand this move from either side of the table. Chris says, under which regime are you talking about? Which regime he had his first stint with? The beginning of Saleh and Douglas. Wait 1 second, Wild Wave. Michael Palmero, appreciate you tuning in. Says you just answered your own question. Clarify what you're talking about here, then I'll go back to you. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you tuning in. Wild Wave channel moderator in the house. How much is Moses expected to make? His AAVs around expected AAVs around $5 million a year. That's why I said bring him back 1 year, $5 million, 1 year, $6 million, something along those lines. As it doesn't even have to be as a starter, as a backup, and then you maybe see him start 4 to 6 games next season. I would be on board with that. Sharon, appreciate you tuning in. He said he has unfinished business here. I referenced that at the top of the show. He's been very vocal on wanting to be a New York Jet, doing everything it takes, embodying, the pillars, if you will, to be a Jet. So I don't understand this move from either side. Let's go. Channel member in the house is a great start to the new era. Shake my head. I know. I'm not a fan of this move. I'm really not. I just like I reiterated, I don't understand it. Keep the questions coming. We'll get to those, guys. Appreciate it. If you want to call into the show, you could do so by using the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Like I said, keep the questions, comments coming. We'll get to those. Appreciate you guys. As always, JT, channel member in the house. Appreciate you tuning in. Interesting. I thought bringing back would be an ideal vet that's just an ultimate warrior. That's what I said. That's what I said. I don't get it. I don't get it. He's a warrior, like you said. He battled through injuries, so many injuries last year. He'd do anything he could to stay on the field. He embodies what a New York Jet is who a New York Jet is in Aaron Glenn's eyes. So I don't get it. Chris J comes in with the $2 super chat. Chris, appreciate the $2. Always appreciate your support. So I was responding to someone in the chat. Chris, thank you for letting me know. Appreciate all your support as always. The best, Chris. That's another raffle ticket for you here in our membership raffle. You're in the building. You're good to see you. Appreciate your support on the show as always. Brandon, appreciate you tuning in. New regime isn't just thinking a 1 year window. Moses dealt with injuries all season and turns 34 in a month. Time to get younger at that position. Brandon, I've said several times throughout the show, and this is what I've said all off season. I don't want Morgan Moses back as a starter. I want him back on a 1 year, $5 million contract I want him back on a 1-year, $5 million contract to help train the next right tackle. Whether you try to give Carter Warren a shot, even though I don't think there's much there, you draft a guy, you sign someone in free agency, saying bring him back as a backup, someone who's a great locker room guy, someone who's a leader. We're not talking about paying Morgan Moses $10 million for one season of his duties. We're talking about paying him $4 or $5 million to come back as a veteran leader, someone who's beloved in this building. That's what does not make sense to me. Because Aaron Glenn, I could see Aaron Glenn and Morgan Moses gelling very well. Very, very well. So again, I don't get it. Where are we in the chat? Yours says, Connor, what do you think about Jedrick Wills on a cheap deal, maybe 1 year prove it deal? He's an interesting one. What is he? Has to be 25, 26 years old. Who was he with last year? The Browns? Yeah, I think he was a former first round pick just a few years ago. Why not? I would want more depth behind him, but 1 year prove it deal. I'm not too familiar if he's a free agent or not this offseason. Would you have to trade for him? So I'm guessing the way you're talking about, he's a free agent. 1 year, $6-7 million. Sure, see what he has. Now you're just creating this one. This goes back to the whole point. Moving on from Morgan Moses is creating another unnecessary hole. The Jets already have enough holes on this team. They don't need to create another unnecessary one. So that's another reason why this move just does not make sense for either side here. Let me check how Jedrick Wills graded out last year with PFF. Stand by. Like I said, guys, appreciate you guys as always, though. Keep the questions coming. Call into the show. The pinned comment at the top of the chat. See, we graded out last year. Run blocking grade was not great. Pass blocking grade wasn't great. And pass blocking grade was average. 7 penalties, allowed 3 sacks on only 245 offensive snaps. Based on those, I mean, 6'5", 307. I'd pay him the same amount as Morgan Moses. I really would, based on those numbers. I would pay him the same amount as Morgan Moses. So again, now we're creating an unnecessary hole by moving off of Moses. Wild Wave. I mean, Moses did have some injuries. I could understand why we're moving off him. He had injuries last year, and he was still able to put together an average season for a starting right tackle at the NFL level. You're telling me $4 million as a backup to be a leader in the locker room? That isn't worth it. The Jets are already lacking offensive line depth. Now you're just creating another hole on the line. Who's going to be the backup tackle? Who's going to be the starting right tackle next season is a big question. Carter Warren, I don't have any faith in him. Max Mitchell, hell no. Are you drafting a guy and putting him in right away and see what he has? Are you signing a free agent to a $4 million contract and seeing what he has when you could have just brought Morgan Moses back for the same price, who's proven he's a quality starter at the NFL level? You're just creating another hole here, guys. I don't get it. John Prado in the building. John, appreciate your support. As always, I'm a 53-year-old long-suffering Jet fan. You're as knowledgeable as anyone. Great content, young man. John, appreciate you. Appreciate all your support. And the show, you're the best. Appreciate all your support, and I appreciate you tuning in. Joe Grana in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, Joe. Drafting offensive lineman rounds 3 to 5 is the long-term key to this. Drafting a stud offensive guard would also work, allowing AVT to slide outside if necessary, as long as it's the preseason and he stays there all year. I really like AVT at guard. I really, really like AVT at guard. I'm for, like you said there, let him settle in, because when he settles in at one position, he's really solid. Another thing you can do. No, actually, I was thinking about sliding Timmon out to guard and then putting that wouldn't work. Yeah, that wouldn't work. I was thinking some way by sliding sliding Timmon out to guard, how you can put find a new tackle on the roster. That wouldn't make sense though. I was just thinking there. Drafting offensive lineman 3 to 5. Yeah. Who are you getting though in rounds 3 to 5 this year that you think is able to come in and perform at a higher level than Morgan Moses did last year? I don't get it. Again, you're creating another unnecessary hole. I agree. The Jets have done. I mean, let's be real. This is the first time in my lifetime as a Jets fan, especially. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the chat. Where we're not talking about adding 4 new pieces to this offensive line. Like, the foundation of this offensive line is pretty much built in Olu Fashanu, in Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker. Elijah Vera Tucker, where he's going to play next season, a question mark, but you have him on the roster. You can kind of plug and play with him at a, tackle position or guard position. John Simpson, who was a top guard in the league last year, is under contract. They still need some depth, but this offensive line is well more put together than we've seen in past years. Let's be real here. So 19 MY Jets 69. I agree. I really, really like Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. I really like what he's been able to do. When he's healthy, he's a Pro Bowl level talent. So, I thought the interior of the line between him and Simpson last year when they were both healthy was really solid. So why would you try to change that? And then Joe Tippmann, who's played like a top 5 center the past few seasons. People are talking about, well, move him out to guard, put a new center in, maybe to facilitate something new with that. How would you want to, mess up what Joe Tippmann's doing at the center position? He's been doing a great job. He's done a great job throughout his first 2 seasons in the league. Why would you want to mess with that and try to swing him back out to guard? It doesn't make sense. I like where everyone is right now, and you're just making another unnecessary hole by moving off of Morgan Moses. It all relates back to this. JT says even last year in Baltimore, he played with a torn pec, I believe. While he's been injured, he's durable in the sense that he's able to play through the injuries and still put up, average numbers as a starting tackle in this league. Very durable player in the sense that he doesn't whine and complain about all these injuries like you see most players doing. Wild Wave. Agreed, AVT can slide out to right tackle, especially with the salary he's about to make. But again, at the same point, why would you want to see what Elijah Vera Tucker could do at tackle when you already know he can perform like a top 5, top 10 guard in the league as he showcased that this past season? I think the whole interior of the offense, you have 4 of the 5, let's be real. You have 4 of the 5 starting positions, in my opinion, set in stone. Olu Fashanu at left tackle. John Simpson at left guard. Joe Tippmann at center, Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard. All 4 of those guys were really, really solid last season. You cannot deny that. Right tackle was the position that overall was shaky. Well, left tackle, once Olu got an opportunity, left tackle was great. But Tyron Smith was a mess for the first 8 to 9 weeks of the season. But once you got Olu in there, the position was locked down for a long time. Right tackle was the one spotty position last season. With Moses dealing with some of the injuries, Max Mitchell and Carter Warren have to come in relief and them not being able to stop a nosebleed. So, right tackle's the only spotty position. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So leave the offensive line as it is with the 4 guys in their set positions, and now you're just going to have to cast a search for a starting right tackle next year. I think that's how you do it. JT, while getting younger, we can sign an older vet or 2 to help paint the way for a young player unless he's commanding top 15, top 20 tackle money. I think we need to resign Moses. JT, that's what I said at the top of the show. You don't need to bring him back as a starter. He's going to make $4 or $5 million next year somewhere. Pay him that money. Come in, continue to be a leader, great locker room guy. And then you help him work with the next right tackle, whether it's another year working alongside Carter Warren to see what's there, try to make him the right tackle of the future, or signing a younger guy like you're suggested, Dredrick Willis, who's a first-round pick who's still 25 years old. Just don't get it. You're creating an unnecessary hole. And while he's still doing that, yes, guys, he's also providing a depth piece. And when he's on the field, he's an average tackle in the NFL. 2 parts to that. So I just don't get it again. Joe, if AVT was some power offensive guard, I wouldn't consider sliding him out, but we can't get a tough yard when we need one. He's not strong enough for tough runs. I like him at guard. When he's locked into a position for a year or 2 and he has time to really just focus on one position, he does a great job. It started to get dicey right before he got injured when you're, plug and playing. Okay, he's playing snaps at right tackle, then he's playing snaps at left guard. I don't get it. Let him sit on one tackle. You have the whole interior solidified along with your left tackle. Don't try to mess things up here. Okay, and then again, if you slide AVT out to tackle, who's playing guard for you next season? Who's playing left guard? I don't feel comfortable in anyone else playing guard. And no, don't tell me Joe Tippmann sliding out to guard because that's not happening. Joe Tippmann is the center of the future for the New York Jets. Joe Tippmann's not sliding out to guard, so enough with that nonsense as well. Taylor, appreciate you tuning in. Moses was a leader on the team last year. Leadership failed us. Move on. He was more than a leader. He was durable. He was durable, and he played like an average tackle in all of football, and when you needed something out of him, you were able to count on him when he was healthy. He didn't whine, he didn't complain about injuries, he played through them. I don't get this. Most leadership failed us. Move on. I don't get that. Taylor comes back in and says, Connor, copy and paste your Rodgers argument on the Moses situation. Morgan Moses isn't the quarterback of the New York Jets, and you're not talking about paying him $37.5 million next season and 63 in 2026. And he's also not 41 years old. So enough with the comparing the Moses situation to the Rodgers situation. Come on, guys. Your Moses definitely the better half. I just think I see the vision. We want longevity. Moses isn't longevity, and he's done right by us. I here you're kind of you're playing two sides of the story here. Moses is definitely the better half. I get that. I think I see the vision. We want longevity. Moses isn't. Oh, I think you say you understand what route the Jets are going to go. Who are you going to find though? That's going to automatically guarantee longevity. Who are you going to find that's just going to guarantee that? Again, I can't keep reiterating. It's $4 million for a backup who can help groom the next starting tackle of this team, who's a leader in the locker room. JT, every time he gets moved to tackle, he gets hurt. Well, that's what I said. When he's been able to just set in and focus on the guard position, he's done a great job. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Johnny Merheal. I hope that I'm saying that right. Johnny Merheal. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks so much. You're now a channel member. Appreciate your support. That is one raffle ticket for you. Get you into the raffle at the end of the show. Appreciate all your support. Boom. We're back. Sorry. Sorry, I got clicked out of the tab by accident. We're back though. Johnny, I appreciate you becoming channel member. Thanks so much for your support. That is a raffle ticket for you. Thanks so much. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough for all your support as of late. Again, you're echoing what I said. Let's stop playing musical chairs. Leave AVT where he is. Again, the interior and the left tackle position is solidified. You're just looking for a right tackle. You don't need anything else on this offensive line. This offensive line is set in stone entering next year, except right tackle. Let's be real here. Wild Wave, yeah, I'm letting Mitchell be the backup and see what he can do with another O-line coach. Max Mitchell's been a mess his entire career. Do you really think we have anything left in the tank with Max Mitchell? What happens when he goes out and he allows, 5 sacks over 3 games, or something like that, like we saw in the run over 3 games with the 3 starts with Max Mitchell this past season? Moses is durable depth, and you're not paying him top like you said, top 15. Not you. I think it was JT. Top 10, top 15 tackle money. I don't get it. I don't even think Max Mitchell's going to be on the team next year. If I had to make a prediction, he's cut with a pre-June 1 designation. Taylor says Hollins Pierce is our right tackle of the future. Is he from Maryland or Rutgers? I saw him. I know he's Rutgers it was. Yeah, I was looking at him earlier today. Funny enough, I was digging in on some of the offensive linemen today, and he came out and I was like, was he Rutgers or Maryland? So I watched a few of his games. I don't have a ton of notes on him. Should have some more notes on him a little later. But he's a bigger build. I think he's over like 340 pounds. I don't have like a grade or scouting report on him yet because I only watched one of his games, but it looked okay. I'm assuming he's, a day 2, day 3 type guy. Like I said, he's a big guy, over 340 pounds. Mr. Jetskis, channel member in the building. Mr. Jetskis, appreciate you tuning in as always. Wild Wave, I also want to see what Warren could do with another O-line coach, invest the $5 million somewhere else. I didn't punt on Carter Warren yet. I said give him another year, see what he has. I think this is the right time to punt on Max Mitchell. I think you give Warren another season and invest the $5 million somewhere else. So you trust the combination of Carter Warren and Max Mitchell to get you through 17 games and keep whoever the quarterback is somewhat upright? Telling you the $5 million, where else are you going to invest the $5 million? I'm telling you right now, it's going to go right back to this tackle position. Signing a Dredrick Willis Jr., signing a Dominic Poo, someone like that. The money's going to go back into the tackle position. Because I do not think Aaron Glenn and Steve Hyde and Tanner Angstrom and Aaron Glenn, they're going to feel comfortable in trotting the combination of Carter Warren and Max Mitchell out on the field at the right tackle position. I don't think that's the case at all. Awesome LA, our guy Lay Sal in the building. Appreciate you tuning in. Kind of saw this. Kind of saw this coming, but Connor, did you as the international program episode 1, and would you want one of them? Clarify here, Lay Sal. I'm not too sure with what you're saying. Clarify, and we'll get back to you in the chat. Appreciate you as always. John, appreciate the question. Appreciate all your support as always. Maybe this is a tell, and the Jets are drafting offensive tackle at pick 7. John, the 2 offensive tackle quote. I'm going to put that in quotations. Offensive tackles who are being considered as top 10 picks in Will Campbell Jr. from LSU and Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. Mark my word, guys, they're not going to play tackle at the next level. They're going to have to slide inside and be guards at the next level. Mark my word, these guys are not tackles. Kelvin Banks is one of the handsiest players I've ever watched. Will Campbell just has that upright stance, and I don't think he's going to be durable enough to stay on the outside throughout, down the stretch of his career at the NFL level. Both those guys are going to be guards at the next level. They draft offensive tackle at 7. I might riot because those guys are. I don't even have first round grades on them. They're gonna go in the first round. I have like mid second round grades on both those guys. They're not worth first round picks, but someone is gonna take a flyer on them. Is there a right tackle you like in the draft, Connor? Not particularly a right tackle. I like some of the interior guys though. Connor Colby out of Iowa is an interesting name I really like in one of the later rounds. Seth McLaughlin, the center out of Ohio State. I mean, there's some tackle names I like. For example, Ozzie Trapillo, who was down at the Senior Bowl, the tackle out of Boston College. Dom C's very high on him. Interviewed him down at the Senior Bowl. Grew up in the Northeast. Played at Boston College. Knows what it's like to play in the cold weather. So Ozzie Trapillo, I'll put on that list as well for right tackle. Where are we in the chat? Let's see. Taylor Moses stands to make average money for the position and is at the end of his career. How do you not make the same as the Rodgers situation? Because you're paying Rodgers around $40 million next year, and you're paying him $63 million in 2026. You can't compare. Here's the bottom line. You cannot compare the quarterback position to a backup offensive tackle. You simply can't. You're comparing the most important position in all of sports to an offensive lineman. You can't do that, Taylor. I'm sorry. You simply can't. You can't make that comparison. You can't compare an offensive lineman to a quarterback, a backup offensive lineman too. I can't do that. Appreciate all your support though, as always. Austrian Jet fan, I appreciate you tuning in. 5 more gifted channel memberships. That's 5 raffle tickets for you, and you get a Jets chant. Jets, our number 1 Austrian Jet fan, coming through with 5 gifted memberships. Thanks so much for all your support. Wild Wave, our moderator, I'm so happy he got his membership back. Mike Rubino is a channel member. Stack is a channel member. Zoink Nation, who won a prize in our last membership raffle, is a channel member. And Groove Pait, you are all channel members. Thanks to our guy, the number 1 Austrian Jet fan. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan, you're the best. Can't thank you enough for all your support here on the show. Teresa, appreciate you tuning in, says, is Michael Clemens still with the Jets? Yes, but he will be gone sometime soon. Could you imagine if, they somehow retained Michael Clemens? That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I don't think there's a way Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn can look at the tape from last year. Look at Aaron Glenn won't stand for imagine if Aaron Glenn was the head coach in the team last year in week 17 when Michael Clemens just dog piled on, jumped in on top of that dog pile. Oh my God. Could you imagine if Aaron Glenn was that team? It was the head coach of that team. Oh my God. He would have been benched. So that's another reason that I could see Aaron Glenn looking at that play and just rolling his eyes and pulling him off the field. JJE Post, appreciate you tuning into the Jets not want him back, or did he not want to come back? We're still looking for clarification there. All it was reported that Connor Hughes, he didn't give much detail. He just said that the Jets are expected to move on from Morgan Moses. Where were we? Barney Miller. Appreciate you tuning in. Thoughts on Jackson Dart? Did you cover quarterback already? So we're gonna do a series. I was actually recording I was recording a video last night. I didn't finish it, but we're gonna do a series where we're gonna do basically rank, for example, top 5 quarterbacks to covet in free agency. Top 5 quarterbacks I have ranked in the draft. I have 9 guys with draftable grades, so I'm just going to do all 9 for the quarterback video. But for example, we get to offensive line. I'm not going to rank every offensive lineman who I have with a draftable grade because there's so many there that would take forever. So I'd probably do like top 5, top 10 for that position. But thoughts on Jackson Dart? You're not going to find someone, Barney, as low on Jackson Dart as I am compared to all the hype he's getting. Guess where I have him ranked in my quarterback class this year, Barney? Quarterback 5. Quarterback 5. I have hot takes on some of the other quarterbacks. Like, for example, I'm really high on Will Howard, guys. I have an end of the first round grade on Will Howard. He's really, really starting to grow on me. So I have an end of the first round grade on Will Howard. I have a top 3 grade on Cam Ward. So those are the only 2 guys I have with first round grades. After that, Shadur, I have a second round grade. Shadur's my 3rd ranked quarterback in this year's class, but Jackson Dart for me, quarterback 5. A lot of reasons. Struggles when pressure bears down. Ultimately, he hasn't ran a pro level offensive scheme in his entire life. So whoever drafts him, he's basically going to need to sit for a full year to teach him what an NFL offense looks like. He's very, very slow to read defenses. Another negative. Went to the same high school as Zach Wilson, where he's number 2. Those have nothing to do where I rank him. You can't run a pro level offensive scheme with him. He's going to need to sit for a year, learn that. Very slow to read defensive coverages, and when pressure bears down, all of his mechanics go to waste. Sharon says, I was just about to ask about Ozzie and Colby. I picked both in my third round mock draft. Third round for Colby is very, very early in my opinion. Third round for Ozzie, though, if he's there, you got to take him. Colby for me, I have a 5th round grade on Connor Colby. Barney, thoughts on wide receiver coming out in the draft? Any gems in 2nd or 3rd round? I wouldn't say any gems. Overall, I don't think the wide receiver. I just don't think the wide receiver class this year isn't all that great. I think I have 2 legit guys. I like Luther Burden. He's okay. I just don't categorize him as a legit wide receiver. The 2 guys I really like, Agupa, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, have a top 15 grade on him. Ted McMillan's my number 1 guy for the Jets to realistically covet in this year's draft. I have a top 5 grade on him. Generational hands, some of the best body control you ever see. Can run block. Route running can use some improvement, but overall, really, really high on Ted McMillan. 2nd or 3rd round, some names: Jaden Higgins out of Iowa, Jalen Noel out of Iowa, and Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Those are the guys I consider somewhat gems. They're not like insanely talented, but they impressed down at the Senior Bowl. The thing with Ole Miss with Trey Harris, I see you're coming to the chat. I just spoke about Trey Harris. The thing with Trey Harris is similar to Jackson Dart. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss schemes receivers open. So Harris, I think, is going to struggle adapting to an NFL level offensive scheme right away, which could be somewhat of a concern. But if I had to, top 2 is Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins, both coming out of Iowa. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan comes in. Appreciate the memberships, by the way. As always, says PFF Mocks has us get Ward at 7. I did not catch their latest one, but I got Ward at 7. I got to go back and look at that one. If he's there at 7, I question why is he there at 7? And all those teams who need quarterbacks ahead of us, why would they pass on him? If Ward is there at 7, I don't even know if I would take him, just because that leaves me concerned with what teams saw in their evaluation process. Dicker the Kicker channel member, appreciate you tuning in. Dart Mania hitting the Jets hard, huh? Crazy to think people think Jackson Dart is worth the pick. 7th overall. Telling you guys, he's going to be out of the league in 5 years. He's going to be a bust. I don't know about out of the league, because Zach Wilson's been in the league for 5 years already. He's going to get like 2 years of starting opportunity like Zach Wilson did, and then he's going to be a 3rd stringer the rest of his career. People are saying Hackenberg 2.0 for Dart, the people who really don't like him. I think he's going to get into a game. Like, Hackenberg never took a snap. For example, we're going to see Jackson Dart getting games. Unlike what we saw with Hackenberg. There's a big difference there, in my opinion. My Holy King, appreciate you tuning in. Yes, guys, please listen to My Holy King. Smash that like button. We got 45 of you guys watching on YouTube, would I greatly appreciate. Only 32 likes. 13 of you have not liked the video, so please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Let's get an exact subscriber count. We're at 1,622. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL draft, so please hit it. Appreciate your support as always here on the show. Yours says, Connor, are you going live again today? Are you one and done? Nope, not one and done today. You're everyone, all 43 of you guys, please listen. We have so many guests in weekly spots now. Tonight at 8 p.m., mark your calendar, stay tuned. Tonight at 8 p.m., that's what we got. We got Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Report joining us now in his weekly spot. And then tomorrow night, we're joined by Matt O'Leary at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in his weekly spot. So please stay tuned for those tonight at 8 p.m. with Gunny Gumby of NY Jets Situation Report. Tomorrow night with Matt O'Leary at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday with our draft analyst, Cole Thompson, making his first appearance on the show this draft season. And then Friday, Brian Costello of the New York Post. Saturday, Tigo of Talking Jets with Tigo in his weekly spot. And then Sunday, we're still working on something, but that's the upcoming schedule for the rest of the week. Appreciate you asking. My Holy King, Connor, do you think Carr is a bum or a good QB or a bum? The Jets signing any one of the three, and Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, or Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, or Russ Wilson, indicates they're punting on next season. Derek Carr's 34 years old, but at this point in his career, he can barely move. His arm appears shot, and he's injured all the time. So no thank you to Derek Carr. I put him in that same tier of like Kirk Cousins, even Mac Jones. That's punting on next season for me by bringing in Derek Carr. So no thank you. Sco, how do you know he's a bust? We don't know. Here's the thing. You're basically I have a strong feeling someone is a bust when you need to bring them into the NFL level and teach them how to play offense at that level. Compared to Will Howard, who basically you could take Will Howard. What you could do with Will Howard, take him from college. He's going to come in and he's going to have no trouble adapting because Chip Kelly, who's now the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders, was his offensive coordinator in college, and they ran a pro-level offensive scheme there. So I have no concerns of Will Howard coming in and adapting to the NFL level right away. Jackson Dart, you're going to bring him in and teach him the position basically on an entire new surface, an entire new level. So that's why I think he's going to be a bust. It's going to take, I think, years for him to adapt to the quarterback position. Lee Sal says the international program episode 1 is the series where they show international prospects going through the process of becoming an NFL player. And would you want one of them? Maybe they had like some Olympian who played like rugby or something go to the Chiefs last year. I don't know. My honest answer though is I don't know. I haven't looked into any of those guys yet. Barney, do we trade down from 7 and get a couple more picks? With Glenn clearing house a bit, we need more bodies. No, I would love to trade down for 7, but who are you trading down with is the massive question. That's the main question for me. Like if a team is going to want to come up, like if you could pick up an extra second or third and you could trade down to like 9 or 10 with the Cowboys or Saints, I would do it. You guys want to see? I've been watching a lot of tape recently. Should we do a mock draft today? We haven't done one in a little while. I'll throw a poll in. Should we do a mock draft on our show right now? Putting a poll in. I threw it in the chat, so poll should be going up right about now. If you want to see a mock draft, we could do it on today's show. I've been watching a lot of tape recently, so let me know if you guys want to see it. Vote at the top of the chat, please, in the poll. Anyone can vote. Like I said, 2 votes. I'm going to say yes, so please, please, please vote. We'll look back in like 5 minutes. We'll look back in about 5 minutes, see what you guys say. If you want to see a mock draft or not on today's show, like I said, vote on that poll at the top of the chat. 42 of you watching, 7 votes, 86% of you say yes, you want to see it. We'll check back in a few minutes. Vote at the top of the poll, please. And then keep the questions coming. We'll get to those if you want to call into the show. Click the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Miley King Hackenberg is the manager of Walmart. What is he even doing now? Because what did he play with the Jets from 15 to 16? So he's probably like 30, 31. What did he do after the NFL? He played like arena football for a year or something? It's a good trivia question. What is Christian Hackenberg doing today? He can't get into broadcasting. Who's going to hire Christian Hackenberg as a broadcaster? Molly King, appreciate you tuning in. Sco says, Connor, could you get Juan Soto on as a guest? Hey, Juan Soto, if you're listening, if you have a breakdown in Port St. Lucie right now and you're listening to the show, I'd love to have you on, Juan. Love to have you on. Only King says Derek Carr. Great answer, Connor. Appreciate you as always, my only king. Come back in. He says, Connor, who do you want to be your first Met interview? Who do you want your first Met interview to be? Are you talking about a player or like a reporter? Someone who I've spoken to before at a few games. Pete Alonso, who's like just an overall great guy. So take Pete Alonso off the table. Francisco Lindor would be really cool. He's not with the Mets. If he were to resign, Jose Iglesias, Candelita, just the whole story. It would be so cool to sit down with Jose Iglesias and just get the whole backstory on how OMG transpired. What was it like recording the song, and were you expecting it to become such a big hit in the clubhouse once you introduced it to everyone? So if he re-signed, I would do Jose Iglesias, also known as our guy Candelita. Appreciate you all, though. So yeah, vote at the top of the poll. We'll do the mock draft in a little if the poll keeps trending in the same direction. Keep the questions coming. We'll get to those. If you want to call into the show, you could do so by using the pinned comment at the top of the chat. I'll give a few more minutes on the poll. Like I said, though, guys, keep the questions coming, and then you can call into the show with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Back at 8 p.m. tonight with our guy Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Reports. So, guys, please tune in to that. If you're around tonight, should be super fun talking Jets with Gunny. Always a super fun time. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough for all your support. Should we just start the mock now? Should we just start it now? 81% of you guys want to see it. Thinking, yeah, 81% of you guys want to see the mock. We'll do it. We could do it. We could do the mock. We'll do these two questions as we let the poll sit in for a little longer. Yours says, Connor, who do you think at CB2? You said, and then you say, I don't think Eccles is that good. I don't trust that. I like Eccles as a cornerback 3. I don't trust him to play boundary, play opposite of Sauce Gardner right away. Chavarius Ward, who has the connection to Steve Wilkes, he's a free agent. Carlton Davis, who played under Aaron Glenn last year, is a free agent. Those are my top 2 guys right now. Then My Holy King says, Connor, do you have a Brooklyn channel? No, but we'll do Brooklyn Nets coverage on here if you guys want to see it, especially if they make the play, and we will. Sco says, when's the first Met show? Sco, we did a Met show last night. Go back and watch it after this show's over. We did the Met show. Talked about Frankie Montas' injury and who's going to replace him in the rotation. I wanted Jose Quintana to come back on a 1-year, $10 million contract and basically take that 5th spot in the rotation while Montas starts to rehab. All right, like I said, though, guys, please keep the questions coming. Your support means a ton. Call into the show with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. 81% of you guys in the poll say you want to see the mock draft. We'll end that poll now. And guess what? We'll do a mock draft. So we're going to pull the PFF mock draft simulator up here on the screen. You guys can help control the mock draft because that's what we did last time, and it was super fun. So let's pull this up. Stay tuned. Boom. Should be up on the screen right about now. We'll go full screen so you guys can see it really good. And don't worry, we'll zoom in because I know a lot of you watch on mobile. So you guys can see the screen a lot better. I like the new public versus PFF setting. This is what I do with the settings. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's what I do with the settings. We'll enter our draft. You guys want to trade up? I'm not trading up. I'm not trading up. I'm starting the draft. Boom. This is the worst. This is the worst case scenario right now. This is the worst case scenario. Cam Ward, number 1. Boom. Abdul Carter, number 2. Boom. Ted McMillan gone. Travis Hunter. This is the worst case scenario because you're looking at Ashton Genty, Malachi Starks, Will Campbell, Luther Burden, Jahad Band. Like, this is... And then who's the team that's willing to... Now there's only one team that's willing to trade up. That's the Browns at 33. Let me zoom out a minute so I can. This is what I'll say. I'm willing to trade back into the second round. Like, for example, let's just mess around with this. I'm gonna make any deal. Should we try clicking offer? It's a 14% chance, but can we try clicking offer? We're talking about a first next year, a first and 27, and then an early first pick of the second round this year. Would you guys just at least offer this? Because I certainly would. Let me know in the chat, then we'll make a decision from here. I think this would be a great deal. You're talking about picking up 2 firsts and the first pick and the second. A first next year A first in 2027 and the first pick in the second round this year. That's a great deal to me. Let me know what you guys think on that in the chat. I would do that in a heartbeat. Let me know, because we're gonna have to make the pick, so we're gonna have to make the decision quickly. Let me know in the chat, please. And then, I mean, again, you go back to the available options on the board. Genty, Stark. Like, if I had to make a pick here, it would be Starks. Someone who's quick downhill to stop the run, viable in pass coverage, 6'1", 205, good build for a safety. I just want to see how he tests. I would want to see how he tests at Combine before you run that up. My Holy King says good deal. All right, we'll try it. Oh my God, they accepted. Wow. What a deal. 2 first rounders, 26 and 27, and then the first pick of the second round in the second round this year. In exchange for 7 with no one on the board. Oh, what a steal. What a steal. Now look where we are. You have 33, 42, 92. So many picks. I'm not sure. We're not trading down again. I can guarantee that. All right, here's where we're here. Oh my God, there's so many good options. And keep in mind, we're on the clock 9 picks after this as well. That's insane. Colton Loveland, Demetrius Knight Jr., tight end, linebacker, both needs. I'm big on Colton Loveland. Colston Loveland, my bad. You're looking for a cornerback too. Trey Amos is there from Mississippi. Donovan Isarikuwu, edge out of Boston College. You need another edge. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame is a corner I'm really, really high on. Right now, I'm leaning towards Lovin. I'm the most educated on him. I've watched a lot out of him. And we're talking about a traditional build for a tight end at 6'5", 245 pounds. Solid numbers overall. I'm leaning towards Loveland. I see Wild Wave saying Loveland in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. He is, Scout. Let me know what you guys think. Dart's so low on this board, rightfully so. I'm not touching Jackson Dart. You guys have the opportunity to make the pick though. This is your mock draft. I just have the screen up here. Where do you guys want to go? Give it a few more seconds here before we put the pick in. And I'm just telling you right now, some advice. If I was Darren Mushi, these were the available players on the board, I'd take Loveland. All right. My Holy King says Loveland. Wild Wave says Loveland. Sko says Dart is still there, so we don't know if that's directly indicating the Jets should take Dart. And Taylor says Knight. We'll wait a few more seconds to get a few more people involved. Throw your answer in the chat. That's what influences our pick, so throw your answers into the chat. Sko says Dart. Dart only has 1 vote right now. I'm not spending this premium pick, our first pick in the draft this year, on a quarterback. That's just me, though. 1 more vote. We'll let a few more people get involved here before we make the pick. I'm leaning Loveland. Loveland is my pick here. What? Grace Abel. He really skyrocketed up boards. Let's see who went after us. Went after 7. Oh, Browns got Campbell. They traded up that high for Campbell. Gave up 2 1s for him and a second. Jeez. Again, guys, please let me know in the chat where you guys leaning. A little more time to vote here. I'm just messing around with some trades. See if you could somehow orchestrate a steal, but I don't think you're going to want to trade back. I don't want to trade again. Okay, Awesome LA says Loveland. Loveland's running away with the lead right now. Taylor says defensive tackle. There's not any like really, really big defensive tackles here. I think the right value right now. Oh, TJ Sanders is there. I see him up on the big board. He's right there. He's a name I spoke about. He should be there at 42, though. And this defensive tackle class is really deep. So is the tight end, but I think Colston Loveland is going to come in right away and make an impact. I'm going Loveland here. You guys chose him, so we'll make the pick. 33rd overall pick in this mock draft. Take Colston Loveland. Tight end out of Michigan. Solid pick, and we're back up on the clock. Oh, I was wrong. TJ Sanders went 2 pick before us. But hey, Tyleik Williams, I'm telling you guys, this is the pick. This is the pick right now. This is the pick. 6'3", 327. For those who want fatties in the middle, that's who Tyleik Williams is. 6'3", 327. Run blocking grade of 88.6. 7.8% run stop win rate, 7% pass rush win rate. I'm telling you guys, this is the guy. Still some other options. Xavier Watts, someone I'm really high on. Solid, coming downhill to stop the run. Good in pass coverage, 6 foot, 203 pounds. Jahad Campbell is another really, really solid guy. Solid against the run, solid going against the pass. The Jets are going to need some linebacker help. Finish first in coverage stops. I'm telling you, though, Tyreek Williams is the pick. Wild Wave says, I like Williams. Sko is still pounding the table for Dart. Taylor references he's okay with the Loveland pick. Dixon, yes. Appreciate Connor. You're making me lean more and more toward at quarterback. I'm telling you guys, he's the quarterback 2 in this year's class. I'm telling you guys right now. All right, I think Williams is the pick. Taylor says Williams is the pick. Wild Wave says Williams. Let me know, guys. We'll give it a few more seconds until we put the pick in. Going with Tyreek Williams, though, here. Great against the run. Big player who you're able to just plug right next to Quinnen Williams. Defensive tackle is a solid need here. Mr. Roberts says Williams. Wild Wave says best available. Tyreek Williams is the best player available, so we'll take him. 42nd pick. Tyreek Williams. Boom. Great pick. Whew. Okay. A lot of solid options here. So who have we taken so far? We've taken Colston Loveland, Tyreek Williams. Skos is start. I'm not taking any quarterback in the 3rd round. Josiah Stewart. I'm a big fan of Josiah Stewart. Solid against the run, a great pass rusher, 6'1", 245. I really like Josiah Stewart. Charles Grant is an okay tackle. He's coming from a smaller school, though. William and Mary. Mason Taylor, son of Jason Taylor, tight end at LSU. I know Green Bean's a big fan of his. If you're going to go tight end here, in my opinion, it's Harold Fana Jr. at a Bowling Green. The one concern is the size, but he's able to accelerate, get yards after the catch, able to make plays, get up, catch jump balls. I'm leaning Harold Fana here. Trey Harris is another name I spoke about earlier. Overall, he's my wide receiver 4 in this year's class. If I had to make the pick, it's Fannin, but I want to get your guys' thoughts. Skos is Dart still. Swamp Ranger says get Howard here. Wild Wave says Harris. Skos is Dart again. Okay, who do you guys want? I think there's a chance. I think Howard is going to be there with the next pick. I'm just saying. I think he's going to be there with the next pick. This is, I think, great value if you're able to get him in the 3rd round. I'm just saying I think he's going to be there with the next pick. I'm leaning Fannin Jr. right now. Never mind. I'm not with Fannin right now because I keep forgetting we took Loveland in the 1st. So I think doubling up on tight ends in 1st and 3rd is a little rich. Then, yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards a quarterback at this point. All right, I'm going to put a poll in. It's split on Dart or Howard. I'm putting a poll in. You have like 30 seconds. Who do we pick? Dart, Howard. All right, I put it in. You guys have about a minute or 2 to vote there. Minute or 2 to vote. Dart or Howard, or who do we just pick overall? I'm telling you guys, it's not Jackson Dart. Oh, come on. Dart's in the lead. Come on, my Howard bet. Come on, Swamp Ranger. Come on, Dixon. Everyone who likes Howard, let's go. Get him up in that poll. 62-38 towards Dart right now. Oh, my God. Come on, some of my Will Howard fans. Get in there. Yes, there we go. Narrowing the gap. Taylor still says offensive lines. Those are just the 2 main guys. If you want someone else, throw them in the chat and we'll certainly consider it. I'm just saying if we pick a quarterback, those are the 2 guys going in. Okay, 55-45. We're going to wrap up soon. Ugh. Someone, come on, Will Howard fans, get in there. Vote on that poll. 58. God. I'm telling you guys are going to regret this when you look at what 3 years down the road. And we're still doing the show. You guys are going to regret this. And you say, Jackson Dart, we'll end it. All right. Just admitting. Crazy to think you guys want Jackson Dart there. Taylor says Hollins Pierce. Wild Wave says Trey Harris. My advice here, I was making the pick, I would take Charles Grant, the tackle out of William and Mary, or Josiah Stewart, personally. I think it's a little early for a quarterback. Who should we take? We're gonna wrap up here in a second. Just whoever throws whatever name is thrown in next, that's who we're picking. That's what I'm doing. This is taking too long. Whatever the first name I see is next, that's who we're picking. Deone Walker would have been really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, Taylor says Stewart. I really like Josiah Stewart off the edge, so Josiah Stewart it is. Boom. Chris J, I see you. Don't worry. We'll do it after the mock draft. Wild Wave, it was too late. We got Josiah Stewart already. 2 Michigan players and an Ohio State player. Going after big school guys here. Oh, was Howard taken? Oh, Howard went. Dart's still there. No one's going to take Dart. This is why Trevor Sickham is a great draft analyst. He has him at like 100 something on his big board. Who are we taking here, guys? Who are we taking here? Jamari Caldwell. If we didn't take Tyleek Williams, look at this guy. 6'1", 340. Look at that. Riley Leonard's on the table. Terrence Ferguson. Getting too low. Jalen Noel is the sleeper wide receiver from Iowa State I spoke about. Scosis Dart on the poll. Greg, I said it was so close, so whoever's name I see next. Okay, we'll do Dart. We'll do Dart here. It's a terrible pick, but we could do Dart. Let's just confirm. We'll give it like 15 more seconds. Who wants to see Dart? Who does not? We could do it. All right, we'll do Dart. Pains me. Waste of a pick. Next up, Kyle McCord, just sitting there, patiently waiting for his name to be called in the 5th round. Hey, you guys spoke. The people spoke. So, this is not, again, this is not my mock draft. This is your mock draft. Awesome LA says 4th round flyer on Dart is okay, right? I guess. I just want to steer clear of Dart at all costs. Like 4th round, I guess is okay. I just want to avoid him. I don't think he's worth it. All right, who do you guys want next here? Kobe King is a name I really, really like. The linebacker out of Penn State. Another big another run stuffer who we need. We need some linebacker depth. 6'1", 248. You think about the 2 starting linebackers for the Jets, Jamie and Sherwood, Quincy Williams. They're on the lighter side. This is a bigger guy in Kobe King who's going to come in, be a run stuffer right away. Force, run stops, coverage stops, things of that nature. No, we're not taking 2 quarterbacks. I'm leaning Kobe King here. Let me know which route you guys want to go. 6'3". Things we've taken 2 defensive linemen already. I don't want to go that route again. Wild Wave says Kobe King or the wide receiver. Pat Bryant. See his numbers. Nah. I'd rather wait for some of the LeJohntay Wester is my sleeper in round 7. Or Ricky White and LeJohntay Wester are my 2 sleepers. Kobe King are the wide receiver. So we're gonna wrap up soon here. Final chance to get input on the pick here. Oh, Wild Wave's talking about Kyle Williams. I'm not too familiar with Kyle Williams. I'm gonna be honest here. Check his numbers out though. Taylor says offensive line. I want to wait to take like a Seth McLaughlin or Connor Colby with the next pick. I'm for that instead of trying to reach now. Like an Inaj Cornelius, who I'm really, really high on, the tackle out of Oregon. Miles Frazier, the guard out of LSU. Like, they're going to be there in a few picks. I don't want to reach now. What about a trade back? Yeah, right now, 145. What about this? Should we try to put this in? Just gonna leave that there. Probably can get that done. Acquire more capital. Sko says cornerback or safety. Malachi Moore, Upton Stout, who was down at the Shrine Bowl, really, really impressed a lot of people. I like R.J. Mickens or Elijah Clark in one of the later rounds. Even Malachi Moore from Alabama is someone else I'm big on. Greg, we took Colston Loveland with our first pick, which is ultimately was in the second round. What about, I'm telling you guys, that trade? Oh, crap, I lost it. It's 145. Boom, boom. That was it with, no, it was with the Titans. Try this. Should we try making a deal for this? You're just acquiring more capital. Like, it's either that or you're going to reach on someone. I think this is the best move to bring in more draft capital. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want to reach on anyone too high right now. Throw the pick in a few seconds. So if you want any input, throw your thoughts in the chat right now. Sko says, my name is Malachi. Oh, I had no idea, Sko. I had no idea that was your name. Take him, Malachi Moore. We'll take him with the next. He's going to be there probably the whole draft. All right, Wild Waves, just take the trade. I'll do the trade. In my opinion, that's the best bet, too. We'll do the trade. They didn't accept it. We'll do something they accept then. Take the 7-rounder out. Try that. Nope. Still didn't do it. Move that pick this year. There we go. All right. I brought in some extra capital next year. Okay with that. Who's up here? Upton Stout was taken. Oh, almost left the simulator. That could have been bad. Kobe King on the board. Spoke about him last pick. This is, I think, where you go Connor Colby. This is where you go Connor Colby, in my opinion. Let me know where you guys are leaning in the chat, and we'll make the pick. Connor Colby or Kobe King are my top two guys right here. I'm leaning more towards Colby, though. Let's check our picks. Loveland, Tyleik Williams, Josiah Stewart, Jackson Dart. I'm going to take Colby. Wild Wave says Kobe King. We'll do Kobe King. I'm okay with that. Don't hate it. Few more seconds until we put the pick in. Few more seconds. So last chance to get your insight in. Only a few more picks left here in the draft. Wild Wave, the only one who's weighed in on where we should go. This pick. Kobe King is Wild Wave's answer here. I know, Wild Wave, I told you. It's your mock draft, though. It's your guys' mock draft. So I put the poll in, but I was telling you guys, Kyle McCord is the right pick if he's still there. He's still here, guys. He's still here. Taylor says offensive line. Okay, so it's split between Kobe King and Connor Colby. Whoever throws their name in next, that's who we're picking. Like we did with the last pick. Whoever's name is thrown in next, that's who we get. Wildlife, I know it wasn't you. I'm just saying, hey, everyone in the chat. Let's go. Just take my twin, Malachi Moore. Moore's going to be there with... Have we taken a safety yet? All right, Wildlife said... I'm going Kobe King. We'll take Malachi Moore with the next pick. Oh, let's hope he wasn't taken. Who'd we take again? Kobe King. Okay. Now 3 picks left. I like where we stand right now. 3 picks left in the 5th round. We're in the 5th round now. Safety. We haven't taken a safety yet. R.J. Mickens is my pick from Clemson. Son of Ray Mickens. high football IQ, has a motor. RJ Mickens is my pick right here. Skos continues to say Malachi Moore. It's your draft. It's your guys' draft, so wherever you guys want to go, just my insight, my little intel here. RJ Mickens from Clemson would be my pick. Son of Ray Mickens. High football IQ. Has a motor. Gets downhill, stops the run. He's my pick. But like I said, though, like I've reiterated, it's your draft, so a few more seconds here before we run the pick in. Last opportunity to get your insight in the chat. Can't thank you enough, guys, for all the support. It really means the best. It really means the most. It really does. It really does. We'll be back tonight. Obviously, we're still not done with the show. We can look at the rest of the mock draft. We'll be back, though, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Report joining us here in his weekly spot. So stay tuned for that. And I really love you guys can come stop by. Appreciate all your support as always. I see you guys saying Malachi Moore. Taylor and Sko both say Moore. We'll take a Malachi Moore, safety out of Alabama. I would have waited because I really like RJ Mickens. And is he gone now? Is he gone? No. I think this is a great opportunity to double up on safety, in my opinion. Mickens, I'm telling you guys, RJ Mickens is the right pick here. You double up on safety, you get two safeties, and then you go to wide receiver LeJounte Wester from Colorado with the next pick. Wild Wave says grab Mickens. I'm doing it. I'm going to get Mickens. I like the way we were able to facilitate that. Now with the last pick, I still want to add some. They have another pick here. Could we get two more? I'm doing that. Wait, let's see what team has the most picks. 1, 2, 1. I would do this. Okay. We have 4 6th rounders next year. I would give one up to bring in 2 more picks. I want to stack up on some more players this year. Would you do this? Let me know in the chat. I would do this with a heartbeat. Let's just check who we picked. Mickens, Moore, Kobe King, Jackson Dart, Josiah Stewart, Ty Williams. So I want to add a tight end and a wide receiver and a kicker with our last pick. That's what I think we need to fill still. Other than that, we've addressed every need. Taylor says do it. I'm doing that. 3 picks now left in this year's draft. All right, still on the clock though. Got the tight ends. I'm telling you, Oronde Gadsden from Syracuse has a great rapport. We don't have Kyle McCord, but he's a great rapport with Kyle McCord. Really, really solid when he's look at those contested catches. Really, I watched 3 of his games. He's an absolute baller. Look at it, 17 contested catches. 5 missed tackles forced, 9 deep catches, 228 deep yards. I'm a big fan of Gadsden. Sharon says Mitchell Evans. Could be interesting. It could be interesting. I'm trying to. He's not there. Oh. Let's go back. Miles Frazier's there. Cam Horsley from Boston College is a great 6'4", 306. I've taken him in a lot of my mocks I've just done in my free time. My top 2 guys are probably Frazier, Horsley, and Gadsden. I'm leaning Frazier. We need that interior help. I'm not big on sliding AVT out to tackle, but if you draft Miles Frazier here, that opens up the opportunity too. We need offensive line help. Need interior offensive depth. And Miles Frazier brings that to the table. 6'5", 325. Look at that pass blocking grade. Let me get your thoughts here in the chat, but I'm leaning Miles Frazier with this pick. I think that's the right pick for the Jets. Let me know in the chat. Last opportunity to really get your insight in. In the meantime, smash the like and subscribe, guys. Completely free and helps us grow significantly on the show. 53 likes today. Greatly appreciate that. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough for all the support. Again, last chance to get your insight in. Wild Lace is 100% Miles. Boom. Glad we're on board. Miles Frazier it is. That was a long time. A lot of names I saw go off the board. Hollins Pierce. Oh, LeJohntay Wester too. No. Oh, God. I was planning to get it. Is Ricky White somehow still here? Oh, I wish he was there. I would have ran Ricky White up to the podium. All right. Kyron Lacey from LSU, I'm not opposed to. I would like to add a wide receiver with one of these picks. And then Tonka Hemingway's another big run stuffing defensive tackle. 6'3", 288, met with the Jets at the Shrine Bowl. Let's see. So Tonka. Oh, guys, Kyron Lacey. Just remember, he was the guy in that crime, right? He might not even get drafted now. Yeah, Wild Lace is a knucklehead, but maybe it could work. He was involved in that hit and run crime in January. So cross him off the board because the Jets don't want more headaches. So no to no to Kyron Lacey. We've taken 2 safeties. You can't go Hancock. Zachary Franklin. Yeah, not much. No one wants to trade back either. Tonka's the pick, in my opinion. Tonka's the pick for me. Let me know what you guys want here in the chat, but Tonka Hemingway for me is the pick, in my opinion. Tonka Hemingway, run stuffing defensive tackle from South Carolina. Yes, Taylor says Tonka. We'll run that in. Tonka Hemingway. That's the pick. Next up, last. Right here. Right here. I just need to get your confirmation in the chat before I do so. Sharon says, is Kaiser gone? Jack Kaiser, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, he's definitely gone. Yeah, he's probably like a 3rd or 4th round guy. Gotta go back to that tab. My mouse is hovering, cursor's hovering right over this name. Need a kicker? I just need your confirmation in the chat before we click that button. Boom. Surprised how many kickers came out this year. A lot more than prior years. Is there a long snapper who came out? Have it right there, guys. Jerome says, why haven't you picked Knoble from college? Jerome, Knoble got a new NIL deal, and he's returning to school. That's why I have not picked Knoble yet. Sharon says Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's certainly the pick in my opinion. Give it a few more seconds until we run it in. Ryan Fitzgerald is certainly where I'm leaning right now. I just need to get your final thoughts here. Someone just write Fitzgerald so I can get double confirmation. I could just put the pick in already. Because I know you guys want Fitzgerald. Because I know you guys know we need a kicker to win and compete. So just someone write Ryan Fitzgerald in and second Sharon's opinion. And my opinion as well. All right, Taylor says get the kicker. Boom, there we go. That's our drafts. Rating our draft. Okay. They didn't like the Loveland pick already, but let's go. They didn't say anything about the trade. Loveland got a B-. They care a lot of positional value, though. And they think cornerbacks overall more important than tight end. All right, we got an A for Tyleek Williams. I like that. Got a B+ for Josiah Stewart. C+ for Dart. Would have given it lower, in my opinion. Kobe King, B-. Malachi Moore with an F. Okay. The trade. RJ Mickens, C- is a little harsh. Miles Frazier B is fair. Hemingway B plus I like. Fitzgerald C plus. Overall grade a B plus. Okay. Overall thoughts on how we did. On how you guys did, actually, because I let you make every pick. And yes, I'm alive. How do you guys think we did there? What a solid draft. I think an F for Malachi Moore is a little harsh. C plus for Dart. I'm surprised it wasn't lower because I know Trevor Sikkema is the Dart picks have it. Trevor Sikkema is in very high on Dart, and that's what the big board's based off. Sikkema should be on the show, by the way, sometime soon, so you guys can pick his brain. Yeah, solid draft overall. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Report joining us in his weekly spot on the show. Appreciate you guys. Always going to wrap up here soon. So last chance to get your final question, comments, thoughts in. Then we're going to wrap up. Super fun show today. First show on the day again. Back 8 p.m. EST. Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Report joining us in his weekly spot. Then tomorrow, Matt O'Leary in his weekly spot. Thursday, Cole Thompson, our draft analyst, joining us. And Friday, Brian Costello, the New York Post. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me. Album review. Okay, here are my initial thoughts. I know, Chris, you really like the album, just based on your opinion. So you might not particularly align with my beliefs. Graded out of 10, I would give it a 6 out of 10. They're not gonna like it, Chris. It's my opinion. I thought there were a lot of. Here's the thing. I like upbeat rap music. I listen to Drake's like upbeat songs. I don't like the, there are a lot of snoozers, if you will, in that album. So 6 might be a little low. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Like overall, I could see why, for example, you who's a big Drake fan, tell by reading the comments, and you're big on really like rap music and just overall like I can see someone who really is into Drake and likes his music would really enjoy that album. In my opinion, though, it's just not my style of rap music. I like the upbeat rap music. That's why I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. Yeah, that's why I like a lot of those guys. So that's where I am on the album. That's where I am. I just a lot of snoozers for me. Dixon, Kendrick, or Drake, Connor. I gotta. I know not a lot of people are gonna like my opinion, no matter who I pick. Here's what I'm gonna say. I've listened to Drake for a lot longer. Like I've listened to Drake since I was 7 years old. I've listened to Kendrick since I was for like a year. Like really listening to them. So overall, like the talent. So here, it's hard. For example, the it's so tough because I think overall Drake's just a great overall musician, but it's hard to say Kendrick didn't win the rap battle after it's hard to say Kendrick didn't win the rap battle after Not Like Us and the way he pulled it out at the Super Bowl. In the rap, here's what I'm gonna say. As an overall musician, I like a Drake more, but I think Kendrick won the battle. That's that's how I'm gonna phrase it. Not to piss off either side and also give my honest opinion. That's right. My dear guy Jake Asman is in the chat. Drake, I appreciate you. Jake, I appreciate Drake. Jake, appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all your support as always. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back, Gunny Gumby, New York Jets Situation Report, joining us in his weekly spot. Appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate all your support. That'll do it for me here on this Tuesday afternoon. JTS Jets.